Hello guys, welcome back to another video. We're doing some more Stanley Parable. I clicked on the epic log before I realized, but here we go. Many years later. Okay then. Okay then. How does it go from regular to darkness to dugout? What's next? Let's go. What up, Lance? I think this is Memory Lane. No? A Memory Stanley Parable 2. Interesting. What does it say? Okay, if y'all want to pause and read that, I'm not reading all that. No more spin-off, no more sequels. Huh. Okay. What's over here? Jim. I found the Jim button again. Jim. All the discarded Jim buttons. Some more. Let's go over here. What's over here? All the stuff. Interesting. What's this over here? Hello again. It's nice to see you. But it's terrible to learn that there will never be another Stanley Parable game. Did you read what the developers said? Preserve the integrity of the franchise. What nonsense. The Stanley Parable is not sacred. Do not need to protect it. Screw the legacy. Let's keep making Stanley Parable games until the sun explodes. Let's run this franchise into the ground. Let's drag it through the mud and back. And if people hate it, who cares? You see, that was the narrator's problem. He was so obsessed with what people thought of his work. Don't make his mistake. Don't cling to the legacy. Let it burn. It's not hard. In fact, let me show you. Together, we're going to make the Stanley Parable 3. It's simple. All we do is change the number of the game in the game's title screen. We also need a really dumb subtitle for the game, something loud and growly. Go ahead, try combining some words together and make a new title for our game. Oh god. Let's see. Curse of the Human Condition. That's pretty funny. The last ever octopus. Destruction of destruction of human condition. How about that? Confirm. Stanley Parable, destruction of the human. It's absurd. I love it. Every time you restart the game, you'll advance the number of sequel by one, and then we'll pick a new subtitle. That way, Stanley Parable will never end, and nothing in the game itself will change when you do this either. Adding more content sounds like work. No need to do that. It'll just be the same content recycled again and again and again with a new title screen. What do you say? Should we go forth with this plan? I like it, but I want you to have a say as well. I don't want to keep making more. Ugh. Do you guys think I should keep making more? Just different title every time? Fine, let's do it. Good, it's green and a new secret every time you start the game. And you know what? Since you've put faith in my idea, I feel like giving you something as well. You see, I'm noticing that the narrator refound a way to give you the broken trophy, did he? Of course not. I wasn't expecting him to know how. It's been bothering me lately. Let's fix it. Alright, there. The trophy machine is all fixed. You see, I'm on your side. We're in this together. We're going to keep this train troll. The Stanley Parable cannot end. It can only spiral in itself and on itself forever. I must keep the wheel turning. I'm ready. Are you ready? Great. There's only one last thing we need to do. Please enter your current time. It is 1:03 a.m. Please adjust the slider until the computer is very visible. I'm gonna turn that bitch all the way up. And you please enjoy the Stanley Parable. What did I do? Oh God! You're playing Stanley Parable for the destruction of the human condition. Oh God. No. Please.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
There's my bucket. But I wish return to the first one. No. Oh no.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We'll go to the right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Damn, that door's closed.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his... Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
What did I just do?
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Oh, that's sad. Don't play for 5 years. Unachievable, it is impossible to get this achievement. A nominee. British Academy Award? British Academy Award. A lot of British awards. A new video game releasing today. Los Angeles Times. Stanley Parable deals tough choices.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Stanley Parable. You are playing decent pictures. That's Minecraft. What the hell? Is that... I don't remember that game. That's this game. I don't remember that one. It's over here. How to develop the game again. Person of the year. What's downstairs? Damn, I can't open that. game. Oh, that's a nice car. How the game used to look. Yeah.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise. These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh, no. Oh, God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Bashing the game a little bit?
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down.
You did.
Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
You've let everybody down.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly... Oh, Stanley... You're back. You're back. Oh,
how did the plant
goodness.
die?
I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting... Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through.
Now I get utter silence. Awesome. Oh god. What's beeping? What seems to be beeping? I don't understand. Oh well.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth.
Well, he's got it good.
The end is never the end, 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 is
How long
never
can he
the
do
end,
this
is never
for?
the end, is never the end, is never the...
Oh god. There's a hole in the roof. What the hell? Some wildlife? I mean, it doesn't look bad. God. Now it's sand or dirt or whatever. What's that sound? Can I click it again? No? No more? Well, time to go out in the desert. Let's go. It's tweaking you out? Is it because there's so many endings?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I don't want to return to the second one, though. I don't want to.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow.
Really.
Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Can I go out that way?
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Well then, I didn't think that was an ending. Let me try to go to the epic log. Yeah, let me see that. Epilogue. Let's see if that does anything. Many years later. Is it the same thing? Yeah, it's gonna be the same thing.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What is this?
You see,
Can I get the
Stanley,
trophy?
I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Am I back
Yes,
to where I
you
can get the
see,
trophy?
isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
The Jeff button. Or Jim, my bad. Yeah.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game... Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Jim.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim. Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Jim. All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on? Jim. See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says, but no. Instead, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away. Jim.
No.
Jim.
Don't take
Jim.
Jim away
Jim.
from me.
Jim. Jim.
No. He took the Jim button. Oh, damn, I can't press those buttons. Ow. I wanted the Jim button.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable 2. They would appreciate what I've created
That's
here.
not fair. Ooh, new trophy. Yes, 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 yes. Pull the lever, receive the trophy. Just
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the trophy will be given to you.
Yes.
As you can see, the machine is not working yet since... Wait, what in the holy hell is going on? You got the trophy?
Yes.
Why did the machine work? Stanley, I didn't fix it. I didn't do anything to it. I swear, it was broken just a second ago.
It's mine.
Who fixed it? Is someone here? Are we being watched? Oh, God. Composure. Breathe. Just breathe.
Yes. It is mine.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet? You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle?
Yeah.
Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
I've already done the collectibles, but I'll go back up here to see if anything happens. You've been here already. Okay, then.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
That is not the one I picked, but okay. Let's just leave
Or
that.
actually, maybe I should have gone with... No. No, I've made my decision. We're moving on. Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right.
I can go back in this?
Falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning
Lance,
leap
are you
forward
still
for video
watching?
games as a medium.
Lance, are you still watching?